I appreciate everybody getting on the call. And again, today is we're going to talk a little bit about 5 to get 5. All of us, you've been in the business for a while. You know what I mean when we're talking about our starting 5 superstars. But I want to kind of dive into it a little bit more in terms of some of the numbers. Some of these, if you've been in the business for a while, you've already seen it. But there are a lot of new people. And by the way, congratulations to a lot of the new people. I'm excited about that. I know we're in the middle of a promotion. I wouldn't even say in the middle of the promotion. It's closer to the end of the promotion. I haven't said this because I only made up my mind this morning. But the promotion will end next Saturday at 5 p.m. It's already been programmed in the system. So 5 p.m. next Saturday, I think that's the 26th. That's when the promotion will end. Okay? So just kind of keep that in mind as you're building and going through this particular week. Don't ask me to extend it and all that other good stuff. It's already programmed because I have such a kind heart. I'll be tempted to extend it. So this morning when I made up my mind, I programmed it in the computer. So 5 o'clock on Saturday, the 26th, is going to kick over in the system automatically and the promotion will be over. So all that said, guys, we're going to talk about 5 to getting 5. And again, it's very important that everybody understand the value of building a distribution center. What we want to talk about is how to create wealth using the power of 5. If you really understand not even business, but just the law of numbers, there's some magic in the number 5. There's some magic in the number 10. There's some magic in the number 12. I can't explain all the details behind it, but just understand there is some power in the number 5. And when we're talking about how to create wealth, you want to paint an entire portrait, a collage of different items in order to come together and create this picture called wealth. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that. What is wealth? First of all, I want to, what is wealth? Because a lot of people get it confused. A lot of people get the difference between being rich and being wealthy confused. One thing that I always share with people that can really make that distinction between being rich and being wealthy is the fact that if you're rich, you cannot pass those riches, that rich, from generation to generation. You can only pass wealth through generation. Okay, and I'll give you, definition in its entirety in a second. But, if you have a doctor's degree or lawyer degree or accounting degree, CPA, whatever it may be, you may have amassed some riches, but you can't pass that degree through generation. Only wealth. When you start seeing these things around that's been around since, most of us weren't even born, created by the Rockefellers and, the J.P. Morgans of the world and all these people, the Rothschilds, and now you have the Winfreys of the world and the Bill Gates of the world and the Zuckerbergs of the world. This wealth will be passed around for the next 100, 200 years. That's the difference. Now, when I'm talking to you about wealth, you have to understand that when you're coming into One Voice, I'm assuming everybody want to do above the average, above the norm. I'm assuming that everybody that comes into One Voice, you don't just want to make $500 a month, even though it's okay. You don't just want to make $1,000 a month, even though that's okay. I'm assuming at some point you want to replace your current situation with something that's infinitely better, to be able to have all types of options and all types of choices, whether you want to travel the world, whatever it may be, whether you want to take that money that you're making within One Voice and create other industries, entities, whatever it may be. I'm assuming you want to build this on a higher level. So that being the case, you have to have a more robust definition of wealth. But now let me caution you on something. When we talk about wealth within One Voice, a lot of times, a lot of you do it, and I'm guilty of doing it as well. We talk about wealth in the form of money. But wealth is not just money. If you're looking at your screen, wealth is being fulfilled in any or all aspects of your life. That's every aspect of your life, any aspect of your life, or all aspects of your life. For example, you can be wealthy in one aspect, which is spiritually, but not necessarily wealthy financially, or vice versa. There are a lot of people who, have an abundance of spiritual wealth. They understand the virtues of spirituality. But at the end of the day, they're broke. There's no balance there. Okay, there should be some balance there. Then it's the other way around. There's some people who have just tons and tons of money, but they have no moral compass. They have no spiritual foundation. There is no balance there. So what you have to do is work on each aspect individually or simultaneously to achieve a wealthy, a quality of life, which is very, very important. It's not just about amassing spiritual wealth. It's not just about amassing financial wealth. It's about maintaining some type of balance. Some people confuse being wealthy with having money, which could be further from the truth. Each person has to decide what wealth means to them in each category and each aspect of your life. I read something today. Actually, it was, one of my friends said something, and he's so passionate about working out. Work out every single day, get up 5 a.m. working out, and, he's just like, that's a passion. He is wealthy in that area of working out. The only thing I'm working out is my gums as I'm eating and chewing food. But he's passionate about working out. Hey, look, that's great. We need that balance. And I kind of said tongue in cheek, but at the end of the day, a healthy quality of life is very important as well. All these components that we've talked about in the past. So the point is you have to identify what is wealth to you. What does that mean to you? And once you have identified what being wealthy is to you, spiritually, financially, emotionally, health-wise, what does wealth mean to you? Once you have identified that, you have to attack that with vigor. Let's look at it from a financial perspective. What if your house, your car, your food, taxes, utilities, gas, travel, all of that stuff was paid for? What if all that was paid for? How would you feel? I would imagine that every single one of you would feel great to know that you have no stress from any type of bills or anything of that nature. Those things may come up to $50,000 a year, let's just say, and let's just say you got all of that covered and more. You make $55,000 a year. So everything is wonderful. But then now what? Now what? You have to understand that the answer to that now what is your sweet spot for what wealth is. If it is to work with charitable organizations, if it's to do whatever it may be, but it has to be something that's greater than just money. And you have to have a vision beyond money. Money's not going to do it. I can tell you money is not going to do it. It is not enough. I've seen it a million times. Money is not enough. You have to have something greater than money that's going to move you and push you and motivate you to do great things. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind as you're building your game plan for this week. The first thing in terms of getting wealthy actually is to get out of debt. And all of you who've been in the business, when we talked about controlling your life, one of the components of controlling your life is to get out of debt. I want to touch on that for our friends who are new into the business so that you understand the importance of getting out of debt. And I'm going to give you the 5 years, but all of this is a part. Remember, we're painting a picture. We're putting pieces of that picture together in a collage. And once we're done with that, we should have a overarching view of what the advantages are for creating those 5 superstars and duplicating that process. But first thing, again, getting out of debt. Debt management is the secret of millionaires. Debt management is the secret of millionaires. Most people, especially in the Black community, unfortunately, there's a skewed perception of what debt and wealth and all of these things mean. We have been kind of tricked into the standpoint of things meaning status. And things don't necessarily mean status. Things mean debt. things don't mean status. But as you're building your business, unfortunately, the people who you're going to come in contact with, they ain't trying to hear nothing unless they can see something. Think about that. They ain't trying to hear nothing unless they can see something. That's a shallow-minded individual, but it is what it is. It just is what it is. You look at somebody like Sam Walton, the founder and creator of Walmart. He used to drive around with a old pickup truck. Old pickup truck. Then you got some of these other multimillionaires or wannabe multimillionaires on the way to billionaires that spend their money on all kind of frivolous stuff where they're not understanding the importance of managing debt. And at some point, that money will run out. I can't understand how you get two boxers that come to mind. Vander Holyfield and Mike Tyson, they both had an excess of $400 million at one point that went to zero. I can't even fathom that. Nearly $500 million went to zero. That's bad debt management. And something that's interesting is it doesn't matter where you are in terms of your financial portfolio, whether you're making $50,000 a year or $50 million a year. Debt management is the exact same thing. You just have to be disciplined enough to do it. Here's what we talk about in terms of one of the components of controlling your life. If you haven't seen this yet, go to that website, controllingmylife.com. The link is on the rep access on the main website. Just kind of peruse it and take a look at what's going on there, because again, controlling your life, that goes beyond one voice. That's something that you really want to do just in life, period. But imagine every dollar that you earn, if you're looking at your screen, every dollar that you earn, there should be a distribution of that dollar in a percentage formula that you see on your screen. If you actually tally up those four numbers, 10, 10, 25, 55, that comes to 100%. So 100% of every dollar that you earn should be disseminated like this. The first 10% should be to your tithes or your worship. Okay? That's the first 10%. The second 10%, a lot of people don't understand this, but billionaires do. Second 10% goes to you. It has to. If there is no goose, there can be no golden egg. So that second 10% goes to you. The 25% is for your business or personal development. That is to, and I'm not just talking about a one voice business, but you want to reinvest. So the key word here is to reinvest 25% of every dollar that you earn back into your business, or if you already have a business, into personal development. That's the tasting the tools, going to the meetings like the Anthony Robbins, getting empowerment, just getting in front of people who are doing what you're doing, just taking that investment. Even if you're on a different scale with one voice and you're talking about putting 25% of a dollar back into your business, I mean, think about it. What about your own product? Don't all of us wash our hair? Wouldn't it be a great investment in terms of your 25% into your business to get on Autoships with your own shampoo, your own conditioner, your own any of this other stuff that you wear in your hair and all this stuff? Wouldn't that make sense? Yeah. So 25% goes back into your business. 55% goes into your bills. Now, again, when you total those four numbers up, the total's up to 100%. Let me give you an example as to how this works. So let's just say you bring home $2,000 per month, okay? If you broke it down in terms of the percentages that I just shared, if you bring home $2,000 a month, $200 should go towards your tithes or your worship in that particular month. $200 should go to you. Look, guys, I don't care what happens. Buy you some shoes, go to the movie, take yourself to dinner, do whatever you want to do. But it is ultra important. It is super important that you, before you pay anybody else, you pay yourself. You got to understand this, and I keep saying this, but, without that goose, there can be no golden eggs. If you're going through your stress, your thoughts are discombobulated and all these other things, you're not ever doing anything for yourself, then you're not gonna be able to function properly to build your business. I remember when I was in the other company, a good friend of mine, Dora Chambers, she personified what this meant, and I've told this story many times before, but she had something called a no jar, N-O. And as she was going out building her business, every time someone told her no, whether it was to become a customer or whether it was to become a representative, every time someone told her no, she would take $1 and put it in her no jar. And every Friday, without fail, I don't care where it was in the world, she would treat herself to something from her no jar. You know, whether it was a movie, whether it was whatever it was. And unless there was a big event, I don't care. She stuck by this like you would not believe. I could call her, hey, Dora, you know, let's do this, that, and other. No, I can't. I'm going to the movie. Today is my day. Oh, my golly. You know, we worked from 8 to 5. She took this seriously. You have to do that. Okay, so you have to pay yourself. Then the third thing, again, is to pay your business and personal development. That will be $500, which of course is 25% of the $2,000. And then $1,100 goes towards your bills. Now, this is very important. Let's just say your bills come up to, I don't know, $1,500 or $2,000. And I'm telling you, you know, you're bringing home $2,000 and your bills are $2,000. And by the way, this happens for a lot of people. As a matter of fact, a lot of people, you bring home $2,000 and your bills are $3,000. That happens for a lot of people. Here's why one voice is so important. And guys, you got to get this. You have to get this. In order to bring balance to your financial portfolio, you're going to have to bring that debt down or bring your income up. You have to. It is you will perish if you don't. You have to bring that debt down or you have to bring your income up. One voice is a vehicle that will allow you to bring your income up. Now think about it. Let's just use the scenario I'm talking about. You bringing home $2,000 a month and your bills are $3,000 a month. Well, if you got $3,000 in bills, you on a fast track to something not so good. But wonder if you took your income, and I'm just giving a ridiculous example for the sake of example, but wonder if you got into your one voice business and you literally took your monthly residual income up to, you know, $60,000 a month. Now how insignificant is that $3,000 in bills? Right now, it is superseding what you're making, and that's where that phrase robbing Peter to pay Paul come in. You have to kind of juggle bills. You know, everything is always 2 months behind, and you pay one bill before it becomes 3 months behind, all this stuff. That's because you have more debt than income. You have to change that, guys. You absolutely have to change it. And when I see people not taking their business seriously, it kind of hurts me from that perspective. Not anything other than the fact that I know you're taking yourself down a road that you really don't want to be at. Okay? So you think about it. You have to increase your income, but at the end of the day, the example I have on your screen, I'll just read it. It says, you know, so what if your bills come to $200, $2,000 per month or whatever, then you utilize your business fund to help bring in additional income. In other words, this is just saying what I just said. If you're living beyond your means, if your income is less than or equal to what your debt is, you have to change that. I can't stress that enough. Again, it's called living within your means, so you want to kind of get that all together, okay? And one voice can help you do that. Now, there are 3 steps to succeeding in life. However you define success. Remember, we defined wealth. We talked about what wealth is. There's a different definition. There's a different mindset and ideology for what success is. You would have to determine what your definition of success is based on your life or your circumstances or situation, okay? But let me just kind of give you 3 things that, you know, that I like to talk about in terms of succeeding in life. First of all, you got to know what you want. You have to know what you want. Those of you who've been in one voice for a while, you know you've heard me say this, acknowledges that you start with the end in mind. You have to understand where you're going in order to get there. You have to have a game plan. Now, you have to have goals, and then you have to have a game plan to get to those goals. It is absolutely critical. So the first thing is you got to know where you want to go in life. You can't just, if you become a wandering generality, then that's when you become susceptible to everything that's going on around you. You have no other choice, right? When you become a wandering generality, that means you're not in control. Other people are. Second thing is to write down your intermediate goals and a plan to reach those goals. You have to write down your goals. You have to write down a plan. One without the other is insufficient. So if your goal is to get, $5,000 next month, or if your goal is to bring in 20 people on the promotion by 5 o'clock Saturday, then that's the goal. Now, how are you going to get it done? That's the plan. Okay? And then the third thing is actually to review and revise your plan monthly. I don't think we talk enough about this, but it's okay to review and revise your plan monthly, keeping track of all setbacks and all progress. It's okay to do that. Don't get so stuck in your goals to something that's not working and you're not willing to change it. You don't want to do that, okay? So make sure that you review your plan monthly. Make a time. I just like I was just telling you guys, I was looking at, with the company, I was looking at numbers and statistics, trends. I see everything trending up. People's income is going up. Production is going up. I'm looking at all of these things. So now my mind has to flip to that next level of, massive production coming through for everybody, right? You have to do the same thing for your organization. And by the way, if something is not working, if it's not working for one voice, I always change. If it's not working for you guys, then don't be afraid to change. Don't get stuck into your ways. Okay, it's very, very important. Napoleon Hill, some of you've heard of him before, but he had a saying. He said, all success begins with something definite that you fully intend to do. Success is a function of definiteness. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's his words, of purpose. Okay, definiteness of purpose, if I'm pronouncing that right. So, bottom line, again, it's the same thing. You have to have a purpose. You have to have a goal. You have to know where you're going. Okay? Very important. 2 factors that determine whether you become wealthy or whether you remain in the middle class or slip to the lower class or wherever you are. 2 things that determine that is actually how much you earn and then what you do with the money that you earn. How much do you earn, and then what do you do with the money that you earn? You have to understand this, and I just kind of touched on it earlier. If you want to become wealthy, then you have to commit to doing certain things. One of those certain things is getting money and having that money make more money. Remember we talked about in the past, some of you guys may remember, we talked about the cash flow quadrant that was made famous by Robert Kiyosaki. You have 4 quadrants, 4 quads, and it makes up 2 on the left, which is employees and self-employed, and 2 on the right, you have business owners and investors. What we're talking about here is getting from the left side of that quadrant, which is employees and self-employed, to the right side, which is business owners and investors. Guys, you're a business owner. You're here to make money. One voice is not the end for you. It's a means to an end. So when you make this money with one voice, now you're supposed to invest it, whether that's real estate, whether that's, stocks, whether that's other companies, whether that's whatever the case may be. You have to be able to make money and then make that money make you more money. Okay? That's how you get wealthy. Some of us are missing that. But the first thing you got to do is make money. Someone told me before, they say, Sam, I heard you say that it's important to have multiple streams of income. That's why I'm working this company and working that company and doing this, that, and other. I'm like, that's not what I said. I said you want to have multiple streams of income when you have one stream first. You can't have multiple streams. You get at least one thing profitable first. Okay? That's really important. It's important to understand that. And when we speak about Robert Kiyosaki, again, he's the guy who wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant. He wrote a ton of books. But he says it here, the rich build assets that through business entities purchase other cash flow producing assets. The poor, and listen to this, the poor spend their money on liabilities and short-term pleasures without any business entity. I'm going to say this again because this is important. Again, we ain't even got to the one book stuff. It's just life stuff. The rich build assets that through business entities, and they purchase other cash flow producing assets. All right? What the poor or the poor-minded people, I wouldn't even say poor, I would say poor-minded people, they spend their money on liabilities and short-term pleasures without any business entity. I'll tell you one thing, one of the biggest liabilities that you can have is a car. the fancy flashy car, that's a liability. That's nowhere near an asset. Because you can get wheels, long as something, is drivable. Um, you can get wheels anywhere for cheap. You don't have to spend all this kind of money. Now, a lot of times we do that in this business only because, it's a marketing tool. Like I said at the beginning of the call, people, are attracted by the theme. So it's a marketing tool for us. But at the end of the day, it's still a liability. At some point, I'll teach you how to get rid of these liabilities because you want to maintain assets. You want to maintain a strong portfolio. All right, so now let's kind of transition into the started file. Let me just see if we have any questions before I move forward. I don't see any questions, so I'm just going to transition into the started file. This is actually the one-voice part of what we're talking about. So when you're coming into the business, and again, I want to stress the importance of what I'm saying here, guys. You can't build a successful network marketing business by yourself. I created the compensation plan for one voice, right? And I can tell you, as the creator of the compensation plan, there is absolutely no way to succeed with this compensation plan by yourself. You're not hearing this from third party. You're not hearing this from Google. You're not guessing. I'm telling you, as the creator of this compensation plan, I wrote every syllable of this compensation plan. I can tell you as a fact, there is no way you can succeed, I should say. There's no way you can succeed in this compensation plan by yourself. It cannot happen. It's not even designed. There's no way to make it happen. So if you're using that as a backdrop from the person who wrote the compensation plan, why would you try to do it by yourself? I'm telling you it's not going to work. I'm telling you it's not secondhand information. I'm telling you it's not going to work. But also, here's the good thing. I'm telling you what will work. If you got 5 strong people, I call them superstars, you get 5 people that are motivated to succeed, the sky's the limit with this business. In my previous company, I was in that business 10 years, and in 10 years, I only introduced 29 people. I brought 29 people into the business myself in 10 years. I have always had a philosophy of building 5, making them strong, building 5, making them strong, building 5, making them strong, and duplicating that process. That built me an organization of over 50,000 people that did a $30 million company. And I only tell people this all the time. I say it over and over and over again because it is a fact, and I know that this works. So you want to be able to do the same thing. Your starting 5. First of all, once you've got your starting 5 and you get those individuals qualified, what is qualification? Well, you'll become a silver ambassador. What is qualifications for silver ambassadors? Very simple. It's a lot of writing on the screen, but it's very simple. You have your $100 in personal volume. That means you built your business to at least $100 personally. And you have 5 people, those starting 5, that's that number, that you have personally enrolled as an ambassador. They have their $100 in personal volume. You are a silver ambassador. What that means is you're going to make more money as you go through the compensation plan. As you can see it here on the bottom of your screen, you're going to get paid. That says level 1, 2, and 2. It should be levels 1, 2, and 3. You get paid levels 1, 2, and 3, 20%, 10%, 10%. So when you combine that with the 20% that you're earning personally, you're now, as a silver ambassador, you're earning 60% in the compensation plan on a residual basis. Okay, 60%. But the key here is very simple. Only 2 things you need to do to qualify. Have your 100 PV, have 5 people with their 100 PV. Okay? You're going to earn that extra income. Here's just a visual of how this would look. You have 5 people that you brought into the business, and I'm looking for my questions. Okay, and they have their 100 PV, you have your 100 PV. That's what your organization would look like in a linear form. Now, if you see that number 1 and that number 2 is kind of bolded or highlighted, that's because as you you all know, and I don't want to get too technical, we're on a binary system. And that means you can only bring two people direct to you per se in terms of income centers. So you have a left side and a right side. Those are your two income centers. Now, you continue to bring people in. That'll be your third person, fourth person, fifth person. You are still the enroller. You don't lose them. You don't lose any money. It is just the way it looks structurally. If you, what I have in your personal store, in your back office, when you look at the genealogy, you'll see that there's different versions or different ways to look at the same thing. You'll see something called a binary tree. That's just like you're seeing here. There are two people, and then you got everybody else up under them. Then you have a tabular generation view. It just shows you just from a list-like order. Then I've even had a few more added over the weekend just to give you different views of how to look at your organization. I wanted those added this weekend because I want you guys to start, again, thinking more intellectually about, strategically about how to build your business, how to get these 5 people, how to get the silver ambassadors. And the interesting thing is, I'm only going to talk about silver ambassadors because if you get there and you keep duplicating, you duplicated 5 times, you're a crown ambassador. You're all the way to the top of the company. So silver ambassador is the key. Getting there is the key. Then you get there, then you duplicate it. You do it again, get your 5 more. Do it again, get your 5 more. Until you get your 25 people and, of course, all the other qualifications I'm not going to talk about, but at least the 25 people, your people direct. Man, you're on your way to crown ambassador. Okay, but silver ambassador is the key. That's the starting point. Now, something that I'm gonna spend more time talking about because I think it's going to make your life infinitely easier, and that is Autoships. Guys, I'm admonishing every single person. If you don't trust me with anything else, trust me with this. If you can get your 5 people, you get on Autoship for your PV and get them on Autoship for their PV, I'm telling you, your organization will start to explode. First of all, let's kind of break it down just with your Autoship. For those of you who are new, all Autoship is when you get a product or products that are shipped to you automatically every month. They'll hit your card every single month on a certain day and time that you specify, and it'll just send those products out every single month. Here's what everybody should be doing. You should be building your $100 in personal volume with Autoships. You should be doing that. Now, it's much easier if you're using the product. I can't imagine people not using the product and trying to sell, but if you're using the product, hey, look, if you got just the shampoo and the conditioner, that right there is $16, right? Get you some customers that are loyal customers that use the product, so when you total it up, it comes up to 100 PV. And you want to do that so that you maintain your qualifications. And by the way, if saying 100 PV, don't let your minimum be your maximum. It's a minimum 100 PV. You don't want to drop below that just by making your minimum your maximum. But you understand the point. At least 100 PV, but do it on Autoship because you're going to find yourself struggling every month trying to get your personal volume qualification in just to get paid. I don't want you to do that. You don't want to do that. And the FTC don't want you to do that. Because what people end up trying to do is buy product just to get qualified. That's not how the business is supposed to. I'm with the FTC on that. If I was a greedy owner, it wouldn't matter. But that's not my motive. I want people to do it the right way. The right way is to get people on Autoship to the tune of at least $100. When we send out cycle bonuses this Friday, there were a number of people who would have had significant cycle bonuses had they been qualified, had they had their 100 PV, and at the very least had their 2 ambassadors with 100 PV. I mean, a number of people and a lot of money. And I don't like to see that. I want to see people. I want money out there in the field because the more money people are making, the more people are talking about the business. But it's not just enough for you to get your 100 PV. That's great that you do, but you have to insist that your people do the same thing. Look, I'm like this. If they're not willing to get $100 in business, find $100 in business, they're not doing the business. And they're not going to do the business, quite frankly. That's like the easiest thing of all to do, because, yeah, you can talk to people and people will lie to you and tell you they're going to do this, that, and other, and all this other kind of stuff. So you can't control that, but you can certainly control getting, 5 people to get $20 in terms of $20 of products a month. You can do that. You can absolutely do that. And I'm going to start watching that more and more, because they're going to be a barometer to me in terms of who's serious about building a business. You can't get 5 to 10 people to get on Autoship to get your PV. Then, again, if you just making life more difficult for yourself, and you're going to miss out on some money. All right? So make sure you do that, and you do it right away. Have your enroller or your sponsor sit down with you and go through your back office, show you how to set up your Autoship if you don't know how to do it. If they don't know how to do it, send an email to support. If anybody don't know how to do it, and we'll make sure we do. I have the training, Autoship training, recorded. Matter of fact, I have everything that I've done recorded. But as I tend to do, every time I record something, I say something that I shouldn't say. So I don't post it. I don't put it out there. I say stuff that I'm not supposed to say. And I don't care about saying it. I care about it being recorded. It's out there for the entire world. If I can see it face to face, I don't mind that. But I don't want stuff out there. But anyway, we'll redo the Autoship training if you don't get that done. But I think it's important that everybody knows how to do the Autoship and also how to set up your debit card in your back office. All right, so personal volume and commissionable volume. First of all, just a real quick differentiation of the two. Personal volume is what you actually get paid on. Personal volume is what actually you bill totally. Commissionable volume is what you get paid on. I'll give you an example. If you get a bottle of 4 ounce, that's $20, and the shipping is $2.95, so your total is $22.95. You don't get paid on $22.95. You get paid on the $20 because shipping is not commissionable. Taxes are not commissionable. There are various things. Brochures are not commissionable. The samples are not commissionable. There are certain things that are not commissionable. So that's the difference between personal volume and commissionable volume. So sometimes you may see like a different total, but this is just the easy way to remember it. You got a $20 bottle of pure oil, 4 ounce. That's $20. With the shipping is $22.95. You don't get paid on $22.95. You get paid on $20. The $22.95 is your personal volume, but the commissionable volume is $20. I don't talk about that a lot because it gets confusing. I just tell people, the personal volume is what you get paid on, which is true. But there are a few things that are exceptions. But if I'm being just 100% accurate, the letter of the law, there is a differentiation between personal volume and commissionable volume. That being said, you'll earn 20% on your personal commissionable volume. And by the way, again, I didn't want to put all of these acronyms in there, because it is written in the compensation plan, binary commission and PSV, personal sales volume, and personal commissionable volume, PCV, PSV, PV, DV, CV. All of these are part of the stuff. I don't talk about it because it makes it so difficult. If people ask me, I'll tell them. Like I'm kind of touching on it today. But I try to keep it very clean, and I want you to do the same thing. You earn 20% on your personal volume. So again, if $20 bottle of 4 ounce, you'll make $4 on that. That's 20%. All right. Now, here's how it starts to build in terms of your team. You bring someone into your organization. Of course, that's your first level. They bring someone in, that's your second level, so forth and so forth, all the way down to your 5th level at 15%. So when you total that up, you're going to earn 20% on everything that you do personally. And by the way, again, I hadn't said this to everybody. I mean, I said this to the leadership, but the new people, you may not know this. You're getting paid on your personal volume, whether you're qualified or not. Okay? I just wanted to do that because I want to make sure people are making money. I could easily, and I changed this, by the way. This wasn't like this a couple months ago. You previously had to be qualified even to get paid on your personal volume. It just didn't sit right in my spirit to say, okay, you went out, you've gone out, and you've done some work, and you've even got your 100 PVs, but because you brought in two knuckleheads that didn't do anything, you didn't get any money on what you did personally. That didn't set right with me. So I had the programming changed to where you get paid on everything that you do, whether you qualify or not. That's significant in network marketing because people don't do that. Okay, that's significant. So you're going to get that regardless of anything else. What you have to qualify for is getting paid these levels. This is what you see in green. All right? So just kind of keep that in mind. But again, if you do the numbers, if you crush the numbers, as a matter of fact, I'll just kind of put it out here for you in terms of how powerful the auto ship is. We talked about this before. You're getting your 5 superstars. Here it says 5 reps. If you got your 5 superstars, if they get their $100 in personal volume, you're going to get 20% of that on the first level. Again, you got to be qualified. So you're going to earn $100 on that level. If this is auto ship, that $100 come every single month. If that personal volume is on auto ship, like we just talked about, you're going to get $100 every month. Now, $100 a month, that's not a lot of money. But, I mean, at least, little gas, $20 a week in gas, whatever, right? But those 5 people, if they bring in 5 people on that second level, you're actually going to have 25 people. All else being the same, those 25 people, they all have $100 in personal volume on auto ship. You're going to get 10% of that. You're going to get 10% of that. On the second level alone, you're going to get $250. Now, mind you, if this is auto ship, that's every month. And you add that to the $100 you received on the first level, just through 2 levels, you have $350 a month. Now, that could pay a credit card bill or something, $350 a month, just through 2 levels. All you did, and here's where that duplication comes in. All you did was get your 5 superstars, and you taught them how to get their 5 superstars. And at the very least, you're making $350 a month if it's auto ship. These numbers can even skyrocket more than that. With a lot of you guys are getting hair, and these hair are $200, $300, $400, closures and frontals and all this other kind of stuff. That $100 PV is nothing. Taking the third step, if those 25 people getting 5 people each, that's 125 on the third level. Everybody got their 100 PV, 10% on your third level. You're making $1,250 on your third level. Now you add that to the other 3 levels. What is that, $1,600? Making $1,600 just through 3 levels, just at 100 PV. And once again, if this is auto ship, that's $1,600 coming every single month. Now, I know there's some younger cats who may have apartments and stuff like that maybe around $1,500, $1,600 a month. I mean, even some people's mortgage, I don't know, $1,600 a month. But look, I'm getting excited just thinking about this. You mean to tell me, for $99 right now, you can come into this business, you can get your butt up and really work to find you 5 people, help those 5 people duplicate that same system just 2 times. Build your level. You build your business just through 3 levels, which is nothing. Quite frankly, it should be 3 levels in the next couple of weeks at the latest. And have $1,600 a month coming in and have your mortgage done. Your mortgage is done. $1,600 a month. Your mortgage is done. All you did is get 5 superstars, duplicate that 2 levels. Your mortgage is done. And the fact that it's on auto ship is going to come every single month. Let me tell you something about auto ship. Let me tell you something about this process. If it happens like this, that the numbers don't go down, they go up. they go up. But a minimum $1,600 just got by going through 3 levels. Your mortgage is paid. I don't care if you didn't do anything else in the business. It's a great thing that you can come in, do little or nothing, and have free mortgage every single month. That's incredible to me. But let's just say you want to take it that next level. You really fired up about business and success. You see the numbers. Those 125 people go out and get 5 people. That's 625 on your 4th level. You're making $6,250 just on your 4th level. $6,000. You add that up, somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,000 through all 4 levels. $8,000 just through 4 levels. Take it one more step. That's 5th level. 15% on the 5th level. I wanted to put a lot more money on that 5th level because I want to incentivize people to build depth. When I was in another company, they stressed going wide. Going wide helps the company. Going deep helps you. So I want to incentivize people to build depth. Even when you get to Crown Ambassador, a lot of people don't, because you don't really understand all of the parts of the compensation plan. But as a Crown Ambassador, there are 3 generations below that you actually earn percentages at 10% below this. So just on this 5th level, you're talking about $46,000 plus, just on the 5th level. Now you can determine, guys. You can determine where you want to be in this spectrum, from $100 a month to where you total all of this up, over $50,000 a month. You can determine where you are in that spectrum. It's all up to you. Okay? I see a question. Answer this question real quick. Yes, if I'm understanding this question correctly, the question is asking, do you get 20%? Do you get, what about what you do? Yes, you get paid on you get paid 20% of your personal volume as well. That was the first, let me just go, that was the first line I had up there in purple. You get paid 20% on everything that you do. So you get your $100 in personal volume. You're going to get $20 back on that. And then you get these overrides. What I said was, matter of fact, let me just go back, because I want to be perfectly clear. Okay, so if you're looking at your screen, make sure you're caught up. All right, so if you're looking at your screen, what I said was, you'll earn 20% on your personal volume. So if you got $100 in PV, you're going to get 20% of that. What is that? $20 you're going to earn on your own stuff. And I also said you don't even have to qualify for your personal volume. That's why I have it in purple. I said what you qualify for is what's in green. And that's when I started to add up all of those other levels that I just shared with you. So it's 2 things. You get paid on what you do personally at 20%. And then you get paid these levels that I just talked about. Now, one reason that it's important with the 20% personally is that because that's where a lot of these stylists and salons are coming in and they're getting paid this 20% on what they're doing themselves. They're really not doing anything in the business. It doesn't make sense, but that's not my business. That's their business. But you can come in, you sell $1,000 worth of hair. Commissionable volume, personal volume. You said you have $1,000, right? A month, whatever it is, as a stylist, you get to pay 20% of that on your own personal stuff. That's $200 a month. So hopefully I answered that question. There's another question here. Okay. All right. So I didn't see another question, so let me just keep going. So now when you total those percentages up, or those levels up, I should say, again, 5 to get 5. You got your 5 superstars. We're still talking about the power of 5, mind you. Remember, that's what this whole presentation is about. 5 to get 5 to get 5. You duplicate that through 5 levels. You have your 100 PV. Everybody else had their $100 in personal volume. Excuse me. When you total up all of those levels, you're over $50,000, over $54,000 per month. I have here a theoretical example because nobody will ever do it perfectly like that. We all know that. But we also know that some people are not going to stop at 5. They're going to go at 10 and 15 and 20. So these numbers are real. Like I just said on the previous slide, you can determine where your income is from $100 to $54,000 a month. It's up to you. You determine that. Do you determine that by your work ethic and your Autoships? That's what's going to determine that. So finally, all of that was the why. All of that was the why. Why is it important to get on Autoship? Why is it important to get your 100 EV? Why is it important to get 5 people, superstars, and teach them how to duplicate the same thing? How do you do that, though? Well, most of this stuff is I don't want to say it's self-explanatory, but we kind of talked about it in the previous segment. The first month, I think it's important, and this is mainly to the new people on the call. I think it's extremely important that you get a good start because if you get a good start, you'll start to understand and feel and get even more excited about the business right away. When people don't get a good start, they start to feel like, well, it's not for me, it's not working, people telling me no. None of that is true. That is, to the point that it won't work. The business didn't change. The industry didn't change. It's been the same way since 1969. The industry didn't change. It's that you've gone from emotional to logical, and now, you're not getting the same type of excitement. I'm encouraging everybody to bust your butt in your first 30 days to get your 5 ambassadors into the business. Get them into the business. Stay on them about getting $100 in personal volume. Of course, you have to do the same thing. Personal ambassadors in the first month, you want to get 5. If they do the same thing, you'll have a total of 25 in your in terms of team ambassadors and 30 people in your group in your organization in the first 30 days. Guys, that will give you a jump start with your business like you cannot believe. Everything I'm telling you is from, my own experience because I hadn't been one of these cats to jump around from company to company. I just only know what I know. I know what I've seen. I've studied this stuff. I'm a cerebral person, so I'm always studying and strategizing. And I'm telling you, if you want to make it big, get your starting 5, get everybody on Autoship, and duplicate. The process in building these people, we're talking about how. The process in building is to, first of all, make a list. Everybody that's in the business, if you've been in the business more than 48 hours, your enroller should have already told you about the importance of making a list of 100 people. While you're making that list of 100 people, like the same day, the same sit down, you want to give your 10 best and your 10 easiest names to your enroller right then and there, because those are going to be the first 20 people that he or she is going to contact for you. Okay? So your 10 easiest and your 10 best. Your 10 best would be, the people that we characterize them as reds, or your high quality people, or people that already understand business, things of that nature. That's your 10 best. 10 easiest may be mom and them, right? The 10 people that you can just ask them to do you a favor and they'll do it. Well, those, while you're putting your list of 100 people together within your first 48 hours, that first 20, the 10 easiest and 10 best, you should get that to your enroller right away. Approaching and piquing people's interest. I'm not going to get into the details of that, but that basically invites people to take a look at the opportunity to get involved. And again, they can do it at half price right now up until Saturday at 5 p.m. 3-way calls. It's important when your first 30 days in the business that you do 3-way calls with your enroller or your sponsor. The reason that's important is because you don't know what to say yet. You're learning. You just came in. Put the onus on us. We want to marry you for the first 30 days of your business. So do it 3-way calls. They'll show you how to get it done. They'll explain the value of it. But if you don't know what to say in the beginning, you got to have somebody to do that with you, okay? Preferably it's your enroller or your sponsor, but if not, just get you, any of your teammates to do it quick three-way call. It shouldn't be any more than a couple of minutes anyway. Getting people in front of the presentation, that's extremely important. I said earlier that Ms. Mercadale, Ms. Akbar, Mr. Doucette, they've been doing presentations. I know well over my time. I'm closing out, guys. But they've been doing presentations, and you got to flow people in. I'm encouraging you to do. I was so excited. I got a email from Pat Hartwell, I think it was today, and I was excited because she was excited. She had a home meeting. Yesterday I think it was, may have been that meeting Ms. Mercadale did for her. I know they had a meeting scheduled for the day as well. But, she got new customers, she got people. She was just so excited. She talked about how her confidence is up and just the overall excitement about building her business. We have to do that, guys. We have to do that. We have to put the people in front of the presentation. Otherwise, they can't come in. So if you want to know how to get your start at 5, you put 100 people in front of the opportunity. That's how you get your start at 5. You're going to sort through those people to find people who are serious. And that's why I just said, in order to get your start at 5, you're probably going to have to put the presentation in front of 100 people. People lie to you. People posture, all kind of stuff, right? So you're going to have to really put the go through the numbers in order to get your start at 5. And then, of course, you want to duplicate the process. Everybody's going to duplicate the same thing. You don't want to prejudge people. We'll show you how to characterize your list, like I just said, your 10 best, your 10 easiest, and then we'll kind of go through the list of other people. We'll show you how to do that. You don't want to prejudge anybody because a lot of times the people you think will do the business won't, and sometimes you think the people that won't do it, they will do it. Situations change, people change, so just kind of put the opportunity in front of people, not necessarily prejudging. Now, I say that and I put an asterisk by that because I think one thing that will help all of you is if you recruit up. And when I'm talking about recruit up, recruit people who have integrity. Recruit people who, if they say they're going to show up, they're going to show up. If they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. Recruit up to those type of people. Don't just recruit the easiest ones because you feel most comfortable. If you feel comfortable with talking to them, you're probably not recruiting up. You're probably recruiting your peers. You should feel uncomfortable. That means you're recruiting up. Okay? Of course, we talked about getting them qualified on the Autoship. Everybody got to get their personal volume and make sure that your 5 get their personal volume. It's best to do it in Autoship form. And once you've done that, guys, you have built that starting 5. Congratulations. You got your 5 superstars. Your business is now ready to take off. That's when it really starts to take off once you get to Silver Ambassador. So you want to get your starting 5, duplicate that process, and that's when your business is going to take off. We have a 90-day game plan. It's on the website that you guys want to digest that thing. You want to be able to, every single page of that 90-day game plan, you want to be able to articulate that at the highest level. It is critical. That is your roadmap to success. It builds your belief in the business. There's some tools and tapes that we talked about. Your first year network marketing is a great tool. There's a lot of tools out there. I think at this point now, I think life has changed so much over the last 20 years that if you become a better you, you'll become a better business owner. Because when you look at like your first year in network marketing with Mark Yarnell, that's a great tool. I encourage everybody to read it, but it's all prim and proper, right? We're in warfare right now in terms of controlling our lives. So we don't have time to be prim and proper. You got to go out and get it. You have to go out and take it. You got to take life by the neck, and you got to strangle life out of life in order for you to get what you want. You got to go after this thing with passion and vigor. You can't be all prim and proper and wait for it to come to you. You got to go out and get it. People talking about jobs and why the job numbers aren't where they're going to be. Guys, these jobs aren't coming back. Technology have replaced these jobs. They're not coming back, and they're going to continue to dissipate. And we have to be able to make sure that we're controlling our lives. So, read these tapes and tools, but more importantly than this stuff, empower yourself. Do the things that you need to do to become a better you. The books, the videos, the tapes, the stuff that's going to make you a better you, a stronger person. What I want to get from this in closing, this is the last slide. I want to make sure we take a proactive role in planning, goal setting, and personal evaluation of what it is that's going on. In other words, I'm looking to see who those next superstars are going to be. I'm looking to see who those superstars will be when we go to Miami in January, and what One Voice 2018 is going to look like. You want to be doing the same thing for your organization. Don't let these people don't keep going after these same people who have proven to you that they're not going to do anything. Find you some people that will. There are a ton of people out there who are looking for an opportunity, who really have passion and commitment and desire. You just have to do your due diligence to go out there and get them. Okay? So get out there and do it. Take your initiative. Just have to, just go after this with vigor. Go after it with passion. You get experience however you can. The best way to do it is to go out and do it. Build your starting five and help with theirs. Go out and help them. Make sure they're confident in what they're doing. They know the verbiage, and they're going out and they're serious about building their business. That's the only way to win. Write these goals down. Aim high. Don't just, this is not a social savings club. Don't just want to come in here and make $20 here, $30 there. That's okay. But just why not go for it? Just go for it, right? Review and revise, I said this earlier, your goals monthly. Keeping track of everything, the good and the bad, because that's going to tell you what you need to do for September. You look at what's going on in August, see what you did good or well, see what you did bad, and then just, get ready for September, make the corrections appropriately. And the bottom line, stay focused, guys. Don't quit. The only way to lose is to quit. Quitters will never make it to the top, not just in One Voice, but anything, they won't make it to the top. So, get off this call tonight and just I hope you have a different perspective of what, building a team and an organization is about. I tried to craft this as I was writing this out today. I tried to craft it in a way that it's more empowering to you, and then that empowerment will help you build your business. I hope it came across that way, because that's my goal. I wanted to make sure that you start to become better and more confident, more articulate, stronger in the business. You're doing the things that you need to do, and then that will in turn help your business at the next level. Go out this week, take advantage of the promotion. Again, it's going to conclude on Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, exactly, because it's computerized. So go ahead and do that, and let's just make this a great week. Let me check and see if we have any questions before we close out. I don't see any more questions, so with that, I appreciate everybody getting on. I hope you learned something. God bless you, and have a good evening.